Chris Ockley here with Vera Neuenswander, either one of those work?
Neuenswander, yeah, that's great.
Okay. The fifth-year senior from Indiana and the former, was it three-time state champ for Jefferson City in the pole vault?
Yep.
Getting ready for the national meet here, the national finals tomorrow. First, tell me a little bit about how you got started in sports. I know you've got some family history, as your sister and I were teammates at JC on the track team, and then your dad was a gymnast at Michigan. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
And he was. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
He had quite a big success, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, he was the national runner-up on the ranks.
And so, coming from a great college success at a Big Ten school, and you've kind of followed in the same suit. So how did you I'm assuming, like most people, grew up doing most sports, and tell me a little bit about how you got started in sports and then eventually track and field.
Well, I grew up wanting to be a gymnast, so my first couple years of elementary school, my parents didn't put me in gymnastics, and I would just teach myself stuff. My dad would teach me stuff in the grass in our backyard, learning how to do like handsprings and handstands and all that sort of thing. And finally, I think in second grade, they put me into gymnastics, and I did that through to the 8th grade. And when I got into middle school, I was able to try out for the track and field team and started doing pole vault, and quickly realized that that's kind of the sport that I loved. And I quit gymnastics. I knew I'd probably be too tall for it anyway, and it's a pretty hard sport to get into collegiate competition, just because it's not very many Division I schools even have gymnastics teams anymore. And so I knew I wanted to be a collegiate athlete, and I really loved the pole vault, so I picked it up 7th and 8th grade, and then of course in high school became a lot more serious about it.
Right. Now, I see that seems to be, if you've got some kind of a gymnastics background, or man, that's really beneficial. It seems like to the pole vault.
Yeah, I mean, most of the girls who are here at the national meet will tell you that they at some point were in gymnastics. My two teammates, one of which is competing here this weekend also, were both pretty elite gymnasts. My teammate Kelsey, she was a level 10 when she quit, and I think I was a level 8 when I quit, so not quite as good as her, but most pole vaulters find themselves making the switch around high school from gymnastics into pole vault.
Yeah. And your training, do you do any gymnastics type of work? I know I'm talking with your former rival Kylie Hudson of Indiana State, who's now a pro and post-collegiate, talking to her earlier this season at Drake or KU that she's training out in Arizona, I believe now, that they do, once or twice a week, do some gymnastics type of work indoors at their facility.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of bar drills, or we'll do a lot of handstands and core training that is similar to what you would do in gymnastics. It's just a great sport for body awareness, and learning how to swing and learning how to invert and all those things. And so there's a lot of overlap. We don't do too terribly much of it, but we do some of the gymnastics skill work. Right.
Talk to me a little bit about your high school experience. You came in and were a part of a great program at Jeff City, and just a phenomenal team. I think you and Leander Magruder were freshmen when Dominique Peterson was wrapping up his career as a 4-time state champion in the 400, and you and Leander both pulled off state titles your freshman year. And and I think you were. Did you ever lose a high school vault competition? Obviously, you won 3 state titles, and what you missed this season with your with mono. Was that your sophomore year?
Yeah, my sophomore year.
But did you?
I did lose. Let's see. I think my freshman year, I think I tied in the meet once and lost on misses, perhaps. And then I think I had a couple meets where I think I've no-heighted twice my senior year. My grandfather passed away, and I went through a couple meet stretch where I just wasn't focused, and that was kind of a rough spot in my senior year. But yeah, for the most part, I just loved to compete, and it's still the same way. And every time I'm on the runway, even when I was young, I wanted to win, and I wanted to really just do my best every time I was on the runway. And so I did a pretty good job of just competing really hard. And sometimes you come up short, or you have a bad day, and height, or somebody's better on that day than you are. But for the most part in high school, and then it continued into college, I just wanted to go out and compete and see where I could place among the best.
Right, right. And tell me what that was like working, being around such a successful, and part of such a successful high school meet. Talking yesterday with Leslie Farmer, she never lost a meet in high school. 4 straight state titles, and were you a part of 1 or 2 of those?
We as a team, we only lost 1 meet, and that was my sophomore year when I didn't compete. They lost the state championship. We actually broke the state record
in points scored.
Team points, but we still lost to, I think it was Eureka or somebody.
Right.
Or maybe West Plains, I can't remember. But but yeah, we did.
Gateway Tech, maybe.
What's that?
Maybe Gateway Tech. I can't. Maybe.
Maybe it was Gateway. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's what you did. We went out and we competed hard, and it was really a cool thing, especially between my teammate Leandra and I. We were in it together since the beginning at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, and just learning to compete with her and having an attitude of just complete confidence in our abilities. And as a young athlete, that can be tough, especially in such technical events. She was a triple jumper, and I was a pole vaulter, and those are not get down in a box and run as fast as you can type of events. Not that those aren't hard events too, but there's just a lot more room for error as a young athlete, and having her make that road with me. And we had an outstanding group of girls in my class. Several of us were state qualifiers all 4 years. It was just, we just had an attitude on the team that we're going to work as hard as we possibly can, and we're going to give ourselves the best possible chance to go out and win the state title every year as a team, and win individual state championships. And so yeah, it was just an atmosphere that the coaches, especially Coach LeClider and Coach Miss, established, and that definitely carried over into my collegiate career, just knowing, if you work as hard as you possibly can, you're going to give yourself the best opportunity to be at your best when it matters the most. And in high school, that's at the state level, and in college, that's at the national championship level.
Right. And you, I think your sectionals, your senior year went 12-5, and then the next week at state set the class 4 meet record at 12-1, I think, and then I have to apologize for I have to take some of the blame for, I think, that week before state, coming over to your house and bringing you all the national performance list and all these postseason meets that I wanted to make you aware of, and that was really not the time to do that before the state meet, so I apologize. And
remember.
I think Coach said that even maybe that week you even went on the 13 in practice within the bungee maybe, but came to Indiana and made you qualified for your first indoor national meet that you were available for, and had some great success and won conference champion. And but fast forward to your junior year at 2 years ago at 2009 at Arkansas, and the 2 weeks before that won the regional and 14-2, something like that, and then came to Arkansas at nationals on I think Friday night and earned runner up. Tell me a little bit about that, being the national runner up in the vault 2 years ago.
Yes, yeah, it was it's just been a really cool progression, I guess. In college, I had a lot of success my freshman year, and I think I put a lot of pressure on myself my sophomore year to come out and, if I was 12th at the national meet, then I should be an All-American this year. And, I didn't have the success I had hoped for in my sophomore year, and that kind of was the fire behind my training my junior year. And not that I needed to come out and prove anything by any means, but it was just a new appreciation for the fact that, nothing is going to be given to you, and you can only control what you can control. And, my junior year, I trained really hard and just kind of had a new mental attitude about what it meant to compete, and just refocusing on why I was doing it. I'm not competing so much for the glory of a pat on the back from my coaches, or an article in the newspaper, or even an All-American certificate. I'm doing it because I love it and I love to compete. And when it comes down to it, it's about pushing myself to my own limit. And if that means that I'm 8th at the national championships, and that's what that means. I did my very best to put myself in the best position. And if that means first place in national championships, then that's incredible too. And, my junior year, that was kind of the epitome of that kind of mindset. I went in to the national championships, and I really believed that if I put my very best foot forward, I had a winning it. Until I did that, I jumped 1 centimeter below my PR to get second place, and had no misses at the national championships at any bars. Had I missed, even once, I would have been as low as like 6th place, I think, because there were several girls who cleared the same height as me. They just had more misses, and so that was just a really cool thing to happen. Just because I went out, I did my very best, and it was a rewarding experience to place second. But most of all, I was just very excited to have been able to compete at that level at a national championships, and really almost PR at a national championship. That's all you ask for.
Right. And then you obviously not say took off the next year, but you redshirted your fourth year and finished your student teaching. So what? Tell me, I know you competed some last year. Did you compete a lot like you would, normally, or just pick meets here and there? Tell me about what you did last year.
Well, I took off, to teach, but I also took off a lot from my training. I had some reoccurring back injuries, and not major injuries by any means, just some smaller issues or nagging, and that were, continually having me going and getting readjusted and that sort of thing. And I had a conversation with our chiropractor that I've been seeing and my coach, and he just felt that, if we took a season off from really training hard, and I still ran as much as I always did, but the real key for me was taking some time off from lifting. And in the pole vault, lifting is just as important, if not more important, than the other parts of our training. And so I took an entire year off, not an entire year, but about 6 or 7 months off from any lower extremity lifting. So I didn't do any squats or power cleans or snatches, which are really essential to our training. And so there was a huge component that was just eliminated from our program last year for me. And so I still competed, and I'm jumped in some meets and put up okay marks. I think I ended up jumping 13.7 or something like that last year, but it wasn't. I mean, I definitely would have liked to have jumped higher last year. Would have liked to make it out to the USA national meet, but it wasn't really in the cards for me last year, and that was fine because the number one focus was finishing my degree, which I did, and getting healthy so that in my fifth year I would be able to lift and really train at a level that I needed to be at.
Right. And so you, Big Tens this year, you won again and set the meet record at, what was it, 14.3.5 or a quarter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 3.5, something like that.
And then I guess at the preliminary round, you guys hosted, and I guess you tied for first, but they cut it short, I guess, of the rain. Is that right?
Well, the way they do the regional meet is after we get down to 12 girls, but we'll make the national championships. They just end the meet.
Right. Yeah. So I think 13-1 where you're just marked from that meet. Not that matters. Or seeding, I don't think that it really matters in the vault. But so what are your thoughts coming into nationals? Your final meet where you can score points for Indiana and try to cap a career off. What are your thoughts and mindset going in?
I'm just excited for one last chance, like you said, to compete for Indiana, and I think that a huge part of this is saying thank you to my coaches and to the program. It's been a long road. We had a coaching change after my freshman year, and of all the coaches that were hired on when I was a freshman, or that were here when I was a freshman, the only coach that has been here all 5 of my years has been my pole vault coach. And so, a huge part of my career has been, with this coach, Coach Wiseman, and then our other coach, Dave Bowles, who was an Olympian in the pole vault. He's our assistant volunteer coach. And, going into this national championships, I would be lying to say that part of that isn't for them, because it is just a thank you to what they've done for me and taking me from being a 12-3 high school girl to a 14-3 college girl. And, I've got great teammates. My younger teammate who made it here also, she's been an incredible help to me. And, we're both believers, which, we talk to a lot of newspaper people all around and stuff, and I'm always sad because they neglect to put that, we're both doing this for the exact same reason, and that's to bring glory to God. And it's just been the most incredible experience to compete with her and to know that, when we go out there, it doesn't matter who wins because we're both just trying to do the best for the Lord, and we're just so thankful that He's given us bodies that are capable of doing something that we love and something that we're good at and something that, brings glory to Him. And so that's what I'm most excited for, is to be able to showcase the gifts that God has given me and that He's given to Kelsey. And so, that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to just competing as hard as I possibly can. We have the national record holder will be one of the girls that's in the event competing against us from Arkansas, Tina Sute, and she's an incredible competitor. She's one of the best in the world, and I really look forward to going out and competing my hardest to put up a mark that is comparable to what she's going to do, because I know she'll compete well, and just seeing how it stacks up, doing my very best and being confident that I'm ready to compete on this stage. And then the last thing I'm most excited about, I'd say, is that my whole family is there. Family's really important, and it's really exciting that they all want to be there to support me. So I'm excited to see them after the meet, after we're done competing, and I know that they're going to be excited whether I'm dead last or first place. So it's just a great environment to compete in, knowing that my coaches are behind me, knowing my teammates are behind me, knowing my family's behind me, and knowing that ultimately it's all for God. So it doesn't really matter anyway.
Right. And wrapping up here, talking with Brian Hancock yesterday, or 2 days ago, and he said, I think the most important thing for him in the vault was the run and getting his run down. If he can have a good run, he's confident in the rest of his skills. And tell me what, as people unfamiliar with the vault, or just tell me some of your insight of what your focus is as you head down that runway, or maybe the most important aspect of it.
For me, it's just when I step on the runway, it's kind of letting go of everything. As soon as I start trying to focus on do this or do that, it's not going to be a good vault. When I'm laying on my back and I'm waiting for my turn to go, I'm visualizing the jump perfectly. Clearing 16 foot or clearing the world record or whatever. And if I see myself do it and I get on the runway, as soon as I step on the runway, I just let go of everything and trust that, my stuff's going to be on, trust that my cleat's going to be strong, and as soon as I push off down the runway, just being confident, and that's all you can ask for, when you're approaching the bar.
Right. Well, you obviously not only excel on the track, but also in the classroom as academic All-American, and looks like you just won the Big Ten Medal of Honor. It looks like every school has an honoree, and it looks like you won this year. And also, I think just like your former teammate Leslie Farmer, I think just outstanding, GPAs. But tell me a little bit about what your plans are. You've I don't know if you've reached that USA qualifying standard, but if you're interested in talking about what your future, the rest after this weekend and then down the line.
Well, I haven't hit the A standard for the USA meet, but most likely my height should get in. I'm only 4 centimeters off the A standard and already have the B standard, so it shouldn't be a problem. And hopefully this weekend I'll just be able to solidify that and get an A standard. But more than likely I'll be out at USA's in Eugene, which that's just an incredible atmosphere, and I really look forward to getting back there. Since my junior year was the only year I've been able to compete out there, so definitely looking forward to that. And as far as post-collegiate stuff goes, kind of just waiting for this weekend and then USA's to be over to really think of that. I do plan on continuing to compete next year, but I haven't really given any direct thought as to what that's going to look like. And, I've talked with my coaches, and we're just really trying to continue the kind of role that I'm on, and not focus too much on the exterior goals of, what it's going to look like to compete next year. And we'll kind of handle that after the season's over. Yeah.
And it looks like you're doing some graduate work on counseling. Do you hope or plan to go ahead and finish a graduate degree?
I don't think right away I'll finish it. Next year, I'll probably just focus on my training since, it's an Olympic trials year, and it's kind of probably my last go-around. I won't say that I'll absolutely be done by next year, but, I'm going to take some time off from the schooling, and then most likely finish it at a later time.
Right. Well, Vera, congratulations on a great career, and I know hopefully the weather will be nice tomorrow, and things will go well for you. I know it'll be fun having being the meet close to home and having people, even family there to watch for you. And then I know people in Missouri will be watching online, and I know some people will be here to root you and the other Missouri girls on, and congratulations. So, yep. Well, good luck and God bless tomorrow, and
All right.
hopefully we'll see you on that